There is a new report floating around that says the Boston Red Sox are the favorite to land Marlins ace Sandy Alcantara, and now it's time to talk about what the package would look like and what Boston would be giving up. Welcome in here to the Heart of Boston Sports. I'm Jace Andrews, and I appreciate you joining us. And I first want to start today's show by talking about the starting rotation, as it has been officially announced for opening day, and it's not exactly how we pictured it, 1-2 months ago, but still, the top three are the ones we expected: Garrett Crochet, Tanner Houck, and Walker Buehler. Tanner Houck has had a less than ideal spring, but hopefully now with the season being underway on Thursday, he'll be into a better mindset and be pitching very well like we saw him as an all-star last year. The last two guys, you're probably looking at them thinking, okay, who are they? Well, get to learn the names. Richard Fitts, guy's going to be a stud with the Boston Red Sox. I think he's got a real good shot of hanging in this rotation. Honestly, I think all season long, if he performs to the level he's been performing in spring training at. And then the last name, going to be one that I think will probably not be there for too long, especially with Lucas Giolito being injured, Kutter Crawford, Brayan Bello. Probably not going to be a spot sealed in stone, but that's Sean Newcomb. He got the spot over Quinn Priester. That was a big kind of decision that Alex Cora did give us recently, and that's where I want to start this show off talking about the starting rotation. And I think the Boston Red Sox know that right now it is time for a win now period. I mean, that's kind of how the Red Sox have always gone. They, have these little periods where it's not exactly the greatest. They're finishing, maybe bottom in the AL or in that. And, last year you had a third place finish in the AL East. You're about right at 500. So you get Garrett Crochet, you get Walker Buehler, you get Alex Bregman. You've got your big three about to come up and really show the MLB what the Red Sox have been hiding in the minors. Already have Kristian Campbell on the roster. We'll talk about him later on the show. But now it's about pitching. And Garrett Crochet is great. First of all, extend him. Don't know why an extension has not been done yet. That should be the number one priority for the Boston Red Sox. Second of all, I like Richard Fitts. I think Sean Newcomb has some positives to him. But the thing that I look at this roster and I look at the starting rotation, I don't see them being as well endowed as we thought they were. And that's not to say that when Brayan Bello comes back or when Lucas Giolito comes back or Kutter Crawford, they can't be. But when you have the opportunity to go out and trade for a guy like Sandy Alcantara, it's going to be a really good thing for a lot of different reasons. And so that's where we start with. There's a guy, obviously Lucas Giolito not being on the starting roster to start off the 2025 season. He signed that 2-year deal in 2024 and now still has yet to pitch in a regular season game, which is mildly frustrating, but at the same time, I'd rather him be fully healthy and pitching with us than have a lackluster performance from a guy who, we expect to have some high leverage pitching, hopefully by the end of this season. That's just kind of my mindset. But talking about Sandy Alcantara, it was Sports Illustrated who released the report saying that the package for the Red Sox is pretty much already right in front of the Marlins faces and in the Red Sox faces. It's just about whether the Red Sox want to pull the trigger. And I think there's a couple of different reasons about why they will pull the trigger, and we'll kind of start there with what the package looks like. Wilyer, Abreu, Masataka Yoshida, you got Kutter Crawford, and you got a couple prospects. Now, I'm not saying all of those guys are going to be included in the deal. Those are just the quote-unquote 4 pieces that Sports Illustrated mentioned. And so of those 4 pieces, the Red Sox have a decision. Who do they want to trade? Who do they want to keep? How do they want to formulate this? Personally, because of the backlog in the outfield, you have Wilyer, Abreu, Jarren Duran. Obviously, Masataka Yoshida is technically an outfielder. At this point, he's been more of a DH, but with Rafi agreeing to slide over in that DH role, Yoshida does not even have a spot on the roster right now. And that leaves some questions of, do you need to have Yoshida? Do you need to have Wilyer Abreu when you have Roman Anthony knocking down the door at 20 years old? I don't think so. I don't think you need to have either one of those guys in my mind. And that's not to say they should trade both of them. I think one of them will probably stay with the Boston Red Sox, but I don't think that they will be a Boston Red Sox by the end of the trade deadline. And that's where we kind of have to look at this roster from an outside perspective. And it's kind of a good thing in some ways because you look at this and you think, well, the Red Sox, they have some pitching and depth. Like, they're coming back. Why do we need to trade for somebody? You don't really need to trade for somebody. But the fact of the matter is, what else are you going to do with Wilyer, Abreu, when Roman Anthony's batting 320 or 280 or has 10 home runs in the first 30 games of the season in AAA? What do you do? Do you just say, oh yeah, Wilyer, you keep your spot, we'll just leave him down there for a little bit? I don't think I want to do that to Roman. I want him up here. I want him to be big league ready. I want him because I think he's going to be the playoff push. I'd rather him be ready by the playoffs than have to, stick him in there in late July. Then you have another question. What about Yoshida? I mean, he's a good bat, but is he worth the defense? I don't know. And so it just comes down to, is it worth it? Is it worth it to have Masa or Wilyer Abreu on this roster anymore? Because I truly don't think it is. And I know Alcantara is the main point of emphasis, but I also want to present a name that we talked about in the offseason. Dylan Cease. He is a very potential big trade candidate, and it's just about, for the Red Sox, you could probably get either of these guys if you wanted one of them. I doubt they'll get both, obviously, but who would you rather have? And that's why I posed this question. I'll leave the stats up on the screen for you. I want you to get down in the comment section and say, if the Red Sox were to make the trade, I'm not going to say if they will or not, would you rather trade for Sandy Alcantara or would you rather trade for Dylan Cease? You see their stats right there. A career regular season whip of 1.25 for Cease is incredible. And then you look at Alcantara's of being 1.16. Both these guys are predominant aces that are acquirable for the Boston Red Sox for minimal losses. Very minimal. I hate to say it because I love Masataka Yoshida. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like Yoshi or I don't like Wilyer or they shouldn't be on the team. Why are they blocking roster spots? No, they are dang good players. And that is like the enrichment the Boston Red Sox have right now is they have so many good young players, but it's causing a logjam. And I kind of want to know who's going to be my everyday right fielder. I kind of want to know who's going to be my everyday, shortstop, third baseman, second baseman, whatever. There's a way that you can make this work out for the Red Sox favor. And John Henry, with the moves he made this offseason, has shown that he's ready for a win now window. So, do it. Go get Alcantara. Go get Dylan Cease. Make them a Boston Red Sox, and you put yourself at the top of this AL standings right away. That leads me to kind of talking here about Kristian Campbell. He has officially made it to the MLB roster. Welcome to the show. Just a year and some change or so, well, I guess now about almost 2 years, since he was drafted out of Georgia Tech. He is going to make his MLB debut on opening day, and I can't be more excited about it. He'll play second base, is my mind. Did play left field last night in the Monterrey series in Mexico. He'll play again tonight, so I bet you he'll be at second tonight. But he has been talked about by so many scouts. The minor league player of the year last year. He is going to be very, very good in the MLB. And that's where you start to think, man, Kristian Campbell's up. We're looking good. We're so excited. We have our roster. And yet you got these two guys. By the way, if you can't tell, they're looking at their friend Kristian Campbell knowing he made the major league roster. I don't think I have people in love seem more happy than these two have been. But Roman Anthony and Marcello Mayer are also doing great things in the spring training year. Marcello Mayer especially, if it weren't for his health and a couple things he does have to work on, some breaking pitches he's not exactly the greatest of adjusting to. There's some minor things that he needs to work on, and he hasn't played AAA. I mean, that's a forgotten topic that Marcello Mayer has not played AAA. So I think he'll start the year in AAA. That's just what's going to happen. The roster spot just isn't there, but the respect has been given to him by letting him stay up for the entirety of spring training, bring him to Mexico, bring Roman Anthony to Mexico. This tells me two things. Tells me that Marcello Mayer and Roman Anthony are 100% major league ready. But the Red Sox don't want to rush anything. And why would they? They don't need to. You have a dang good roster as is. You don't need to rush Roman Anthony or Marcello Mayer. Do I want them in major leagues? 100%. Am I going to be happier to see them in a month or two when they've gotten some kinks out in the minor leagues and are fully fit and ready? Oh yeah, I'm very excited. Now, I know there's going to be people talking, well, what about like Jackson Holiday last year? They started out him in the minors and then brought him up really quick, and he struggled, and they sent him back down. Yeah, that's true, but Jackson Holiday is also 19, and I know Roman's 20, but there's just some difference in maturity and timing and all that stuff. And Roman Anthony and Marcello Mayer will be on the Boston Red Sox by the end of the season. That's just the way it's going to be. Now, the level of quickness is where I want to bring you into this. Is Roman Anthony going to be brought into the major leagues before Marcello Mayer, or is Marcello Mayer going to be before Roman Anthony? Let me know in the comments section, Marcello Mayer or Roman Anthony, which one will be in the majors quicker? And then, second of all, it really just depends on the trades, on the injuries, on predominantly roster spots. Because let's say, I don't want it to happen, and I know that I don't want to speak it into existence, but Trevor Story has had some injury issues. That's just point blank. That's how it's been. He gets injured and Marcello Mayer is up like that. It's 2 seconds. The news comes out that Trevor Story is going to be out for more than a week or two or on the NL. Guess what, Marcello Mayer? You got yourself a roster spot. You're up. You're playing. And if you play well, you ain't going back down. You're up there. And then for Roman Anthony, truly, I think he is ready more than Kristian Campbell in some ways. It just doesn't fit the Red Sox quota right now to put him in the majors. And he's still young. I mean, he's 20 years old. So I don't mind him playing a little bit more in the minor leagues, and especially, staying with Marcello Mayer. The one thing I don't want to happen through all this is, let's say Trevor Story does get hurt and Marcello Mayer comes up and you have Kristian Campbell and Marcello Mayer as your middle infielders for 2-3 months, and you get past the All-Star date and Roman Anthony's still in AAA. That's what I don't want to have, because these three have collectively built a bond. I mean, I just want to go back to the picture. I love this picture so much because not only do you have Marcello and Roman looking so happy, but they're staring at Kristian Campbell. Like, they are friends on the field. They've done so many interviews together, and I want them to be up in the majors together, and I don't want them to have like one guy left down low. And that's not to say that he can't handle it. I'm not saying Roman's going to be stuck down there and can't handle it. I'm saying that they all deserve to be up. And so if one goes up between Marcello and Roman, I think that the other one's not far behind. Whether that's, oh shoot, Trevor Story got hurt. Oh shoot, Lucas Giolito's not going to come back as quick as we wanted him to. Oh shoot, Brayan Bello is actually way behind more than we thought. Oh shoot, we're going to trade Cutter Crawford, and we're going to trade him for Dylan Cease or Sandy Alcantara, and bye-bye Wilyer Abreu, bye-bye Masataka Yoshida. Bring Roman Anthony up and bring Marcello Mayer up, because they both deserve to be on this roster. I appreciate your time, and we will see you next time here on the Heart of Boston Sports.